Are here, and I'm back again. It's been a little bit of time since I played Castlevania, and I want to actually use my OBS stream setup today. You notice that my room is a little bit empty. It's because I'm moving. My wife and I are getting a house soon, and we're pretty excited. We can't wait. We close next week. But, you know, I was going through my videos, you know, after taking a break from Resident Evil 4, about to get back onto Destiny. I haven't done a Castlevania game in a while, so I am going to do Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. We're going to play this game all the way through. We are playing this on my GameCube via the Game Boy player. But there is a unique thing about this particular file, or this game. I am playing a patched version. I'm playing a recolor patch. And basically what this does is this takes the highlight out of all the original characters. You'll see in a bit. So we're just going to start up. Start the game. Let's see, like Joestar. Space. Joe. Okay. 50 years have passed since Simon Belmont vanquished the curse of Dracula. Fate has dictated that Juste Belmont, blood descendant of the Belmont family, hunt for the relics of Dracula. One day, Juste's best friend, Maxim, who had set out on a training expedition 2 years earlier, returned unexpectedly, his body covered with wounds. He informs Juste that Lidi, a childhood friend whom they both deeply care about, has been kidnapped. Maxim has completely lost his memory of his time training away from home, only has vague images of the kidnapping. Ignoring his bodily injuries, Maxim leads Juste to the place where he believes Lidi is being held captive. Passing through thick fog, the two men happen upon a castle, undocumented on any map. Could this be the fabled Dracula's castle? Standing solemnly in the night, this forbidding castle welcomes its unexpected guest as the moonlight shines upon it. This was developed by Koji Igarashi and team. So you believe that Lidi was brought to this castle? My memory fails me, but this seems to be the place. Don't you believe me? I know better than anyone that you are not the type to lie. Are you all right? I'm fine. It's Lidi you should be concerned about, not me. Go on ahead. I'll be right behind you. You have my word. Okay then. I'll see you inside. Now we are playing a patch, and what this does is this takes the recolor off of the outline color off of Maxim and Juste. So, and I have to pause it to add some sort of context here, but when the Game Boy Advance was developed, it never had a backlit screen. It was only until the Game Boy SP came out, and you had to go play in a well-lit area, and games were designed based on, the light hitting them. So you had to, the programmers were conscientious of making sure, like, are you able to see the characters? So traditionally, Juste Belmont would have a bright blue outline around his body. Maxim would have a red outline. Certain enemies, like bats, would have red outlines as well. This patch color corrects enemies in certain elements of the game and removes that outline, as well as changes the running animation of Juste to be more in line with the running animation of Soma Cruz from Aria of Sorrow and Alucard from Symphony of the Night. Originally, he would run in a two-dimensional way, but this one you can now see he kind of twists his body a little bit. We are being chased by the Talos here, but that's okay. We're gonna bypass him and forces us in the castle. This game was also developed alongside Aria of Sorrow, but there was more emphasis placed on Aria of Sorrow's development more so than this. This one didn't get that much praise. For example, Michiru Yamane, who composed the music, only did some of the tracks in this game, where most of her focus was on Aria of Sorrow. Also, this game was more of a pilot run to see if Koji Igarashi was able to take the size of Symphony of the Night and put it on a Game Boy. Circle of the Moon, which was a launch title for the Game Boy Advance, wasn't developed by Igarashi, but more so it was developed by the team that did the N64 games. It was done by the Kobe division. This game has Juste's ability to dash forward and backward, making him the speediest Belmont in the series. And this is a direct sequel to Simon's Quest. Another way we're playing the patch version is this menu background would be bright blue. We're playing, obviously, in this patch, so it's been recolored to be bright red. We see in Juste's inventory that he has a whip upgrade. He can change the tips of his whip, Vampire Killer, as well as upgrade his armor, you know, his body, his legs, his arms, and head. So these bats have had their outline removed to be more natural. Again, this patch was released not too long ago, a couple months ago, for people who play on, you know, PC or consoles. How I found this patch was really interesting. On Facebook, there is a Castlevania fan group that I'm a part of. And I'm pretty impressed with joining them. If it looks like my game is pretty choppy, it's probably because my stream setup is not the best. I'm using overlays and all sorts of stuff that is possibly taxing my PC. So I am trying to do my best. You know, I'm looking at my stats. It says I'm running at 60 FPS. There's only, you know, 0.7% of the frames are being delayed due to rendering. I mean, it's a HP Spectre. It's not, you know, the best. It's not the worst either. I could try to delete the overlays, and that seems to work best too. Oh. Now, if you notice in my sub-weapon, I have the fist. It's called the Sacred Fist. It allows Juste Belmont to attack with Jonathan Joestars from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Sunlight Yellow Overdrive. But more importantly, it's going to come in handy because there are spell books that we can gather that give our sub-weapons elemental advantages and elemental attacks. And there's one in particular that we could use to access certain items a little bit early. So we're in the second area, the Marble Corridor, and this is an example of the music being changed. Where this one was not composed by Michiru Yamane because it's more modern and upbeat. Out the color of your soul, you must be a Belmont. That is correct. This overwhelming power doth indeed. Which means this is in fact Dracula's castle. That might be true, although the power that is here is not my lord's. What do you mean? I must go now. We shall meet again, son of Belmont. Death has been recolored in this patch to be black and gray. Originally, he was purple. So we just collected a map. Quickly solve our first puzzle here. Ooh, he double hit me there. I always liked this level when I first played this when I was, I was like 12 when this came out. I like the music. It was groovy. Alright, we just picked up the ice tome, and using a simple button command of down L and R, we can turn it on and off. There's a button command where we can basically swap all the other spell books that we get. Turning on one of the elemental spell books allows use to, again, use elemental perks that change the sub-weapon's ability. And you're going to see exactly what it's going to do. In a bit. There's not that many secrets in Harmony of Dissonance. Not so much. You know, not that not that many breakable walls. We're gonna save it. This game has a really interesting difficulty spike shortly. We're gonna skip that. We don't want to. Oh, we don't have the salamander's tail, so we can't slide. The Medusa heads have been retextured as well. No longer do they possess their outline. We got lucky and we got the field armor pretty early. Alright, we just picked up a red stone. Now, what this does is Juste can equip stone tips to the vampire killer, and this gives it the power of fire. Dashing back and forth will give us an advantage, especially when dealing with the flea men. Now, here's where we're going to show you the power of these elemental books. As you can see, I can't quite jump and get this heart, but if I do a pixel perfect, whoop, sliding back dash combined with my elemental book, I can clear that ledge. And we'll be doing it again right here as one of the relics of Dracula is right there, Vlad's ring. So if this doesn't really, you know, remind you of Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, we will be collecting Dracula's relics. And getting Vlad's ring very early on gives us a luck increase. Normally, we're not able to get this item unless we possess the double jump, but if you have the Ice Book and the Sacred Fist, you can do this. There's another area where we will be able to use this ability to kind of get to a ledge where, again, you don't have the double jump. Whoop. There we go. These knights are pretty tanky. You're not really supposed to beat them early on in the game. Just a few hits from them, they will eviscerate your health. But taking them out real early gives you a level up. And if you notice, there was a blue door that had a skull. We can't get through that door as we don't have the key. But the reason why we went that way was just to get the health up. Now, if we check our map, as you can see, there's a boss room straight ahead. Oh, but we did lose quite a bit of health, so we're going to go back to the save room and save it. This game is a really fun game to speedrun with the dash function. Now what we can do is we can also go this way to the boss room. This is where we encounter our first boss. The giant bat. Classic Castlevania. I do like the detail in the backgrounds. Although I think Aria of Sorrow is much more detailed, I do like how there's the illusion of depth. Like this lone tombstone up there. Could that be Dracula's tombstone? I don't know. The giant bat is generally a pushover. Predictable move. See if I can get it. Excellent! And now that's a little Easter egg. If you strike a pose, or you do something interesting when collecting the orbs, the soul orbs, you do get a thing. It'll say either excellent or cool. I never understood what they do. Just means you got good timing. We're just picking up some relics here. The Monster Tome and the Fairy Journal. That just allows us to record the enemies that we defeat. We can also see what items they drop. There's going to be lots of ghosts in this area. And boneheads. Bone pillars. They can do some damage to you if you're not careful. We can't jump at that high. Now this area we can't jump that high either, but we could use, at the peak of the jump, we can actually use our sub-weapon here. Increases the strength of the knife. Interesting. We just picked up a relic. Whoop. No, we're gonna keep our Sacred Fist. Canonically, Juste is the grandfather of Richter Belmont. And if you're wondering why Juste has such a unique sounding name, it is French. As referenced in the Castlevania Netflix animated series, Trevor Belmont states that the Belmonts are from the Kingdom of France, and that Leon Belmont, Leon being a French name, Belmont being a French name, but now it kind of makes sense. Their names are of French origin, especially their first names. As Juste Belmont is French, Simon Belmont is French. Now Richter is German, but I think Richter Belmont itself is definitely French. Really interesting is Richter's outfit. Richter, in the Dracula X Chronicles, Ayami Kojima, who did the artwork, modeled Richter wearing a blue French tailcoat, which would be very significant to his origin, because the time that Castlevania Rondo of Blood takes place would actually be around the time the French Revolutionary War happens. Now, I could try to take a hit to get this. I've done it before, but let's see. I have to get, well, we're taking some damage, so it's not even worth it now. There is a way you can damage boost to get the health upgrade. Juste, who's wearing a red tailcoat, definitely signifies his French origin. We have to be a little bit careful here, as We are getting low on health, and again, this game has an odd difficulty curve because these lizards will do massive amounts of damage to you, and they thrust. And probably about 2 hits from them, I'm done for. So we gotta be very careful. And I don't have the slide ability yet, but I will. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of a chance. Whoop! Ouch. You can kind of bait them backwards. Really interesting how this level is kind of laid out. Bone pillars are pretty easy if you're on the stairs. Where Obi-Wan Kenobi would say I have the high ground, because of Yuste's ability to whip, you can avoid the hitbox. Whoop! Check the map here. We are close to a save room, so I am gonna... But we do have to get past this lizard. You can kind of bait them backwards. As long as we make it to the save room, we're okay. But again, the difficulty curve in this game is very interesting, as this is only the 3rd area. Maxim, are you alright? Oh, Juste, is that you? I'm glad you're alright. What's wrong with you? You're standing around in a daze, leaves you vulnerable. I think I've been in this castle before. I imagine him as sounding like Space Dandy. What did you say? I can't clearly recall, but I think I've been here before. Your memory, it's coming back to you. It seems so. I've been feeling strange since coming to the castle. If we continue a little further, perhaps I may be able to recall something. Come on, let's go together, Maxim. No, we're going to find Liddy. I can't tell if it's Liddy or Lydie. I always called her Lydie, but I think it's Liddy. We must separate. We'll cover more ground. Yes, you're right. Be careful, Juste. Watch your back too, Maxim. Speaking of Castlevania the Animated Series, I'm getting really excited for hopefully the sequel, Castlevania Nocturne, which is going to follow, which should be following Rondo of Blood. That teaser 1 year ago features Richter in his signature blue tailcoat. And it was confirmed that Juste Belmont would be in the show. Probably in a flashback sequence. And he would be portrayed as an older figure. So that would definitely confirm that Juste Belmont is Richter's grandfather. Going up against the living armor. So we'll find more of these throughout, later in the game. Excellent. Alright, this activates the shortcut. back to the castle entrance, but we're not going to go that way because now we can slide. So we're going to cover the grounds that we missed and get that health up. I mentioned earlier that this game doesn't have that many secrets, but there are 2 secrets to this game that the game doesn't explicitly tell you. It's common in Castlevania games that, you know, breakable walls are important. Unfortunately, there's not that many breakable walls in this game. In all the Castlevania games prior, you could always spot a breakable wall because sometimes the texture of the wall is slightly off compared to the walls around it. If we were talking about Circle of the Moon, the texture of the breakable walls have a slight chip in them. In Symphony of the Night, the textures are slightly off themselves. Aria of Sorrow, you would have to use the Peeping Eye soul to identify breakable walls, but most of the time breakable walls are placed where they just look obvious. Like, oh, why is there a wall here? It just doesn't quite fit well. Now, why I mention all this is because there's not really a breakable wall in this Harmony of Dissonance, because the breakable walls are identified to Juste by the type of wall, and you need something known as the crushing tip, which goes on your whip and allows Juste to charge the whip and break through particular types of walls. Fighting another victory armor, but now we're doing 12 damage instead of 9. Ooh. There we go. And then we get the energy circle, which allows you to spin the whip around 360 degrees. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I had to yawn. Now, so Juste needs the crushing tip to break certain breakable walls that we will find later in the game that somewhat hinder the story. Now, there are 2 secrets in this game. Again, the game doesn't tell you these, but there are walls that you can just transverse. There's no indication that you could just jump right through them. One of the walls, you need to slide through. And again, there's no indication that you can slide through this wall. It just kind of happens. And because of that, there's a Vlad relic behind it. But nowhere does the game tell you that. And there's a wall where you can legit jump through to explore a secret on the other side. Nowhere does the game tell you that this wall you just jump through. Now I'm going to go back to the castle entrance because I'm going to pick up a health up. And we're going to run to one of the areas that we need to go through to progress the game. And it's where... And this is where the difficulty is just going to skyrocket. Not yet, but soon. So right here is a wall that we're going to need the crushing tip to break in order to progress the game. Dead end. Back through the marble corridor. We're gonna go when there's a drop in the floor that takes us down, we're gonna go to it. Right here. Again, I like how ominous the backgrounds were in this game as opposed to Aria of Sorrow. Like, who'd have thunk there's just a giant skeleton chained up back there? The Room of Illusion. We're going to take the health up, and then we're going to dash back. You got rivers of lava that flow sideways. I always thought this room was really cool, and the effect that they did on the Game Boy was pretty cool. This psychedelic background. Just a random candle right there. I did pick up some armor, but I don't think it's as good as the field armor. No, we're good. Now this is where the game changes. We enter a warp gate. And Juste even says, for some reason, things look a bit different than they did before. Yeah, meaning, you know, the room is gray. Now we're in the castle treasury. And as you can see on our map, it's warped us down here underground. But we're not in a... It's safe to say we're not in the castle. We're not in the same castle that we started. Now I said earlier that the difficulty takes a unique curve. You'll see why. This area is massively challenging. You can see, like, I am not even going to mess with that. That feather demon just did major amounts of damage to me. The skeletons here do massive amounts of damage. Even though I'm able to do, you know, 3 hits and they're done for. 4 hits, I'm done for. This area is notoriously difficult. Because there's just an insane amount of enemies. And they're always here to inconvenience you. And what's weird is this save room is on the other side of that warp room. And it was a little bit of a challenge just to get here. Again, I thought the backgrounds were really cool in this game. Although they might not make sense. But I always thought they were really interesting. You know, putting depth. Again, we're in a cavern. There's volcanoes in the background. Where in Transylvania is there volcanoes? Ouch. This was a puzzle early on. You have to knock the living armor off. He comedically falls into the boulders. Ah, this is where we meet the merchant. Welcome. Why do you have a shop at a place like this? Well, being the wandering merchant that I am, during my travels, I was suddenly swallowed up by a dense fog and ended up here. Still, there's no need for you to set up shop at a place like this. At first, I spent some time looking for an exit. I couldn't find one, so without other options, I opened up for business right here. So what can I do for you? This is where we meet our merchant friend. Interesting, we can sell. Excuse me. We can sell and buy stuff. But gold is pretty hard to come by in this game. Now the merchant, he appears in very specific rooms. And we're going to find rooms that he appears in, but they have symbols and markings. Hoi! These bomb armors have massive AoE damage if you're not careful. We also need to level up. Now, there will come a point where, yes, we will get a great farm area where we can definitely level up. To the point where we will be overpowered. But I always say, the Skeleton Cavern is definitely a challenging cavern in the very beginning of the game. It's a challenging level. Enemies are very overpowered. And they do pose problems. Now, I don't understand how field armor is weaker than cloth tunic, but it is. I believe the best armor in the game here is the platinum armor. And one of the pike armors drops platinum greaves. So you need to definitely have the platinum greaves and the platinum helm and the platinum armor to definitely be overpowered, or to have a strong stats. We picked up a chair. One of the interesting side quests of this game is decorating a room. It's not Castlevania unless there's something to do. That's a side quest. This one has decorating a room. Circle of the Moon has the arena. Rondo of Blood had rescuing the women. Trying to think what else. Curse of Darkness had collecting chairs for the magical chair room, which was interesting. We don't want to go through there just yet, so we're gonna backtrack. Because again, down here is the room that we will be decorating. Well, what a nice room. Maybe a bit tasteless. Perhaps some furniture. I guess I'll put this down right here. It's an interesting room. Excuse me again. It is stuffy in my room. And it's also around 9 o'clock. I think. I don't know what time. Yeah, it's after 9. Probably break this up in parts. There are 3 endings to this game. Skeleton Cave. There's a good ending, a bad ending, and a neutral ending? This enemy right here, the skeleton spider, made its first appearance in Castlevania Chronicles on the PS1. But if we want to be more accurate, it actually made its first appearance in Castlevania on the Sharp 6800, which Chronicles was a port of. There we go. Again, it just goes off screen for some reason. There's a nice skeleton in the background with 3 eyes. This is definitely a Castlevania boss. I'm not sure if that's the Puixel from Castlevania 4. But it's there. I think there's an item over there. Oh, no, there's not. There's another dead end. Now, you can avoid the skeleton spider by just staying crouched. It'll walk over you. Even though the levels in this game don't make sense, I do like how detailed and depth they provide. Like, we're just running up a giant rib cage right now. It doesn't make sense. The castle's a creature of chaos. Alright, I need a health up. Give me a health up. Uh-oh. No, I need the double jump. Now, briefly, what you just saw up there is Carmilla's mask. I think that's Vampira, I'm not sure. I think it's Vampira. It's a nod to Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Now this is a false wall. We have to do something in an alternate dimension to lower it. We can't get through it now. We have to wait till we go to the other castle. Skeleton spiders, they only walk backwards. But again, you can just bypass them by crouching. Skeleton spears are pretty deadly if we're not careful. They can hit us farther than our whip can hit them. We do have to be very careful about that. Hee-haw! Again, this game used Mode 7 quite frequently. It makes you wonder, since it was often cited that the Game Boy Advance was pretty reminiscent of Super Nintendo hardware. But this game could have been made on the Super Nintendo. This is an interesting Easter egg. If you played Metroid, that's kind of Kraid's skull right there. And another Kraid skull. Ooh. Oh man, I forgot about these traps. Juste, there you are. What's happening? What's happened? Maxim, have you found Lighty? I think it's Liddy. How dare you ask me of Liddy? You're one of her captors, aren't you? Huh? The hell are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Forget it. I know not the scope of your power, Belmont, but I will not let you have her. What's happened to you? You're not your normal self. I got new powers to surpass your strength. But first, the woman. Farewell. May you rot away in the walls of this castle. Fun fact, and I say this loosely, I swear that's Dio Brando's voice actor. Wait, Maxim. Was that truly Maxim? Do my eyes and ears deceive me? You gotta be really careful here, because I am a hit away from death. Now, there is a secret in this save room. There's no ceiling. So I believe the black tome is right up top. But we don't have the gravity boots. So we can't go up there yet. This is the Skeleton Knight. The Skull Knight, reminiscent from Castlevania 3. Many speedrunners in this game have this, can do a damage stack. And I believe it involves throwing the cross. When you throw the cross boomerang, and it's, when it's doing its, on its return, if you hit with the whip, you can stack some damage. There we go. Got past him. His third phase is simple. Just stay down and don't let the beam hit you. Ah, we didn't get the excellent that time. I jumped a little bit late. Now, the Sylph Feather gives us the ability to double jump. So now we're going to go back to the one end of the Skull Cave where we see Vampira's mask. We're going to go back there and investigate. We're definitely going to pick up the life max there. Most of this game is just heavily dashing back and forth. Now this way will connect us to the beginning of the game. But again, we don't have the crushing tip, and we don't get the crushing tip for a little bit longer. See, we can't progress. The music has changed, but we don't have the crushing tip. Thank goodness that they included a forward dash button, because this game is backtrack heavy at some points, so they do want you to cruise through the game pretty quickly. No other Belmont has this ability. Richter can double tap run in Symphony of the Night. They are getting some really good items. Rock leather. There we go. Bronze boots. Energy circle is not that much. We are going to turn on. We only have the ice book. I got confused. I thought the fairy journal was the wind journal. We will be getting the wind journal soon. Now that's really interesting because that allows Juste to throw a Kamehameha, which is pretty cool, or a Hadoken. It does a lot of power. It has a lot of power behind it. It does some damage. Hoo-yah! Cracking the whip. And I just slid right under that. Checking. Ooh. A lot of enemies were recycled from previous Castlevania games, like the skeleton apes from Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night. Ported over. The skeleton armors. The blaze skeletons. Again, Igarashi was trying to figure out if Symphony of the Night could be done on the Game Boy Advance, and very well so. This game proved that you can cram quite a lot of map in this game. We got lured out. But they hit the home run with Aria of Sorrow. I mean, that game was done beautifully, and it was gorgeous. Smack skeleton. So that is Vampira from Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. In that game, she drops the Sacred Cross to allow you to enter Dracula's castle at the very end of the game. Now, we are going to head to the next area. And that is, again, another area where the difficulty just spikes. And when I mean spike, I mean it gets dangerously hard. We run the risk of getting poisoned. There's tons of enemies that just shoot you. I mean, it is a real pain. I don't remember the skeleton ribs being there. Now this area is the Luminous Cavern, and this is where I mean the game gets difficult. And the save room is pretty far away, but we're going to try to make it there. We have half health. The ectoplasms can be a pain, especially if they hit you. Which is why uncursed potions are dropping left and right. We don't have the, I think it's the rock wing or the griffin's wing that makes us jump. We'll take the turquoise. The flame tip is really good on plants. It burns them. Or the red stone. Now I think if we go down, that takes us to the save room that we need. Oh, poisoned. We'll have to use an anti-venom. These big plants do like to poison you. These witches can do quite a bit of damage if we're not careful. They possess magic. Whee! Oh. We definitely want the fist. Where is the save room? I should be near it. Oh. I feel like I'm close to it. Scarecrows, those are from Symphony of the Night. They can do a lot of damage if they hit you, but they're pretty weak. Ah, warp. Oh, I remember now. now the save room is ahead. Ooh, up ahead. Okay. Now what we just did is we warped to the sky walkway. That picture is very, very disturbing. Juste, have you found Liddy? You're Maxim, aren't you? Hey, what do you mean by that? Nothing. Forget it. Tell me, how'd you fare? I found nothing yet, but my memory is slowly coming back to me. Really? So Liddy is somewhere in this castle after all? Yes, I'm sure of that now. And I know that I have also been here before. And there is something I think you should know. Go ahead, you can tell me anything. The day you inherited the title of Vampire Hunter, I felt as if a wall had been erected between us. And for that reason, I set out on my expedition. I wanted to be better than you and relieve you of your fate. Long ago, you told me of Dracula's remains. Do you remember that? Yes, I remember. The story of how my grandfather, Simon, gathered Dracula's remains and destroyed them to undo his curse. I thought my wishes would be granted if I, too, could gather and destroy them. That means that the remains found in this castle are genuine. They are identical to the ones I found, but the little memory of what happened after I found them, I only remember Liddy being brought here. If true, Dracula's remains may be giving rise to this castle. Forgive me, this is all my fault. I'm not the one you should be seeking forgiveness from. You ought to apologize to Liddy first. We must hurry and find her. Yes, you're right. I'll be off then. Maxim, I believe in you. Thanks, Juste. So it's interesting that Juste is questioning his friend. It's because we've been traveling between two different states of mind. Where we last were, we were actually in Maxim's negative state of mind. Oh man, we're poisoned. Huh! Anti-venom. Let's drink a potion. Again, we're encountering another difficulty spike because these guys, these balloon pods, will just tank you. Well, they have the floating sky graphics from Symphony of the Night, which is pretty cool. I think they're using the Sega Saturn version, as the game couldn't quite handle transparencies. Another wall that we can't get through because we have to alter something in the other mind state. Big boy? Whoa! Oh, we're not going that way. Yeah, it takes us to the Chapel of Dissonance. We're not going to go there yet. Oh, I forgot to mention, since we do have the double jump, we can do the air kick. The flying dive kick. Wait. Yeah, we don't want to lose the Sacred Fist. We want to keep that. This room does have a breakable wall. We need the crushing tip to break through this particular bit of stone. We don't have that ability yet. Now, it's not nice that this thing cursed me. That room is a pitch black room. We need to have the invisibility goggles to see. So we are going to go save it. And we're going to fight the devil. Now, the devil could be one of two things. He could be pretty challenging at the very beginning of the game here. Or he could be a pushover. We want him to land on the ground, not stay up there. Ouch. Oh, he's gonna punch me. One thing about them is the second he touches you, and I don't have any more. Hey. He is one of those bosses where I always tend to have to use healing items against. There we go. See if I can get the diving kick bonus. There we go. I got cool. Now that we have the night goggles, we can go in that invisible room. Now, we don't want to necessarily go through this door just yet. So that'll take us to the clock tower. And that's where we're going to encounter something. Instead, we're not going to find a warp gate. We're going to find a portal that's going to take us to the alternate mindset. You see, we're not quite in Dracula's castle. We're actually in a part of Maxim's mind. So the normal castle that we see, we're in Maxim's positive mind state, where he remembers who he is, he's a good guy, he doesn't have ill will against us. When we were in the skeleton cave, when we encountered him, we were in his negative mind state, where we were actually seeing his body being possessed by Dracula. You see, Maxim did find parts of Dracula's relics, and they possessed him to kidnap Liddy and Lord Juste to his fate. Now, we picked up something it's called a hint card. The eyes of the goddess statue point to a secret passage. I think this is near the end of the game where we have to slide through a secret door. Or a secret part of the wall. We found the Chaos Ring very early on. What's it do? Increases the strength of holy water. Now, this takes us to the Aqueduct of the Dragons. This is where we're supposed to go. We're going to turn off our night goggles, and we're going to put on the face guard. Just going to see what items we can put on here. Nothing really much. It's not Castlevania unless you have an underground water level. These fishes, whoa, can take a lot of damage. They're tanks, and they hurt you. It's really careful. You have to be very careful in this area. Again, every area you go to has an insane difficulty spike. And this is one of them, where the mermen and the fishmen just do massive amounts of damage to you. You have to know your distance between them. You got... This might not be good. I definitely need to find a save room. That way it takes us to the boss room. Ah, there's the save room. Woo! Now, this is going to be the area that has the secret I was telling you about. We're going to go in that direction first. We got the hard gloves. What does that do? It's upping our defense, which is nice. We almost have 100 defense. So, that's the goddess statue. She doesn't have hands. Get past these armors. Now, this is the game. Now, again, this is where the game really tells you something. You have not thought to do that because there's no tell. There's just no tell. And there we find one of Dracula's relics. And there's another room like that. Oh, we can't go through there as we don't have the crushing tip. I think we get the crushing tip in the clock tower. Wait. Oh. Hey. Ouch. That was a close call. I have to drink another potion. The blue stone adds water damage. Or ice attacks. Now this is good for me. As water types experience more crits. That's good that they're taking 3 damage. 3 hits to defeat. Knock on wood, I haven't died yet. Usually I usually take a death in the skeleton cave, but I'm doing pretty well. Doing some damage. We're doing good damage. Doing good damage. There we go. Not bad. Merman's not a big problem. Sometimes the giant slime boss is. We got the cool pose again. Again, we want to keep the Sacred Fists. It's a good weapon to have. We're going to go through this door. This takes us to the clock tower. Now, the clock tower does connect to the Sky Sanctuary. Depending on how we use the Sacred Fist with the Ice Tome, you can land 2 hits. If you time it just right, if you're really lucky, you can land 2 crits at the same time. Going this way, we just opened up one of the secret doors, the locked doors, which would prevent us. We would have discovered this if we went immediately to the clock tower from Sky Sanctuary. But instead we went to the underground aqueduct, which is probably the smartest way. It's not a Castlevania game unless you're swinging from pendulums. Or like me, you're just misjumping. There we go. And we got Castle Map 3. So now you can see the full layout of the castle almost. It's very reminiscent of Symphony of the Night's layout. Let's see. Please be stronger. It is almost at 100 defense, which is giving us an advantage here, but not when we're encountering these harpies. Oh, they're both dropped. Now that door right there connects to the Sky Sanctuary, which is important. I am looking to see where is the closest save room. Ouch. I'm gonna drink a high potion. Hint card 4. I believe there's 8. Some spells can be cast multiple times. Not really a hint. More of just, yeah, if you have magic, you can do it. Harpies are definitely a nuisance in this level. So they have an unpredictable flight pattern. And they don't really push back. And they do a lot of damage, and I don't like that. Wait! But we're through them. Okay. Should I go up? Should I go forward? Not sure. Another harpy in the way. Ooh, a disc armor. But we got the scale armor. And that definitely puts me at 108 defense, which is nice. We need all the defense we can get, and I think we get up to about 290 when we get to the end of the game. Platinum armor is pretty much the best armor. At some points, we're just gonna avoid enemies. His disc came out. The classic Room of Clocks from Symphony of the Night and Castlevania 64. Ouch. The yellow Medusa heads are the ones that can turn you to stone if you're not careful. I think there's a save room up here. That's gonna come in handy. Because we're gonna need it. Now, if we were to explore down here, we would find our first roadblock. Because you see this gear here, and you can turn it, but you don't know what it does. Because it's not connected to anything. That's because in the alternate castle, which we will be heading to, that gear opens up a door. The Guardian armor can't be beat unless we chop it into this gear here. Whoa, oh, he got crunched up. Whole background just glitches out of control. And he does give you his armor, which is really, really strong. And that's something we do like. And you got the Guardian armor. You put the Guardian boots. And what we need is the Guardian helm. Where is it? There it is. And then you gotta put the Guardian gloves on. So now, if you look at us, we have 123 defense, 84 strength, great intelligence. We're pretty strong. The armor that you get in this game does mitigate the difficulty spikes. Again, which is very helpful to us. Because some of these enemies can just body you in seconds. This is a room that has a wall that we can't break, but in the alternate castle we can. Harpies are not friendly. Not in the slightest. Even though the whip knocks them back, if they're doing their dive forward, they're just going to keep moving forward. Thank goodness we got past them without dying. I was getting a little bit scared there. I was quite nervous, actually. There's another boss room. Get out of the way, birdies. This is the giant slime I was talking about. He's one of those, he doesn't really hurt you, it's his little slimes that hurt you. Puyo Puyo, let's do this. His name is Max Slimer. He's getting smaller. He's not really a hard boss. It's just more of an inconvenience. But he does poison you, apparently. And that's not good. But the smaller he gets, the more powerful he is. I didn't want to use the elixir, but there we go. Kerblooey. Excellent. See, the feather demon doesn't take that much. We got the green stone. Now that gives us the power of wind. What's just interesting is it doesn't give you really anything magical. It's just more like elemental damage. But you don't really see that type of elemental damage. It would have been nice if they added a green tinge. Ah, death has returned. Mortal. You know of a man by the name of Maxim, do you not? Yes, I do. What about him? I believe that man has discovered objects that hold my lord's powers. You mean Dracula's remains? My lord's fragmented remains. Now it all makes perfect sense. What on earth are you talking about? You have provided me with an answer, so I shall reward you with an explanation. It's simple, this castle is a creation of Maxim's will. What? But he's not capable of such a feat. True of the original Maxim, but possession of my lord's remains changes everything. The castle's two spirits now embody my lord's powers. The castle's two spirits? Two spirits exist now within his body. His original spirit and a wicked spirit born from my lord's remains. What a ridiculous notion. And so two castles were born to everybody, to embody the two spirits of the two spirits. The wicked one wanted the castles most. Wait a minute. What do you mean by the 2 castles? Ignorant mortal. Don't you realize that this castle has 2 layers? I don't want to have anything more to do with you. Very well. Wait, are you running away from me? This castle, as it is now, is a transient one. I must go and aid its completion. So this pretty much just confirms the castles don't really exist. Instead, they are fragments of Maxim's mind. Again, the first castle that we entered was from Maxim's pure state of being. We encountered an angry Maxim. This is the same place I was before, but the aura has changed. Now I see. Whew. This is what Death meant when he said there were 2 castles. So as you can see, now our map changes. Castle A and B. Castle A is the pure castle, where the good Maxim resided. Well, Castle B is the alternate or evil version of Maxim. So what happened was we took a warp gate from Castle A, and that took us into Castle B, where we encountered negative Maxim. We are now in Castle B of the clock tower. So this is where the game is going to start taking us in different directions. Uh-oh. We don't want to lose that. No. Oh, you're kidding me. The Bible is actually a really good sub-weapon with the various elemental tomes. So again, I say I like the backgrounds in this because they're more fantastical than common Castlevania games. And to justify that is because we're not really in a castle that's normal. We're in a fragmented mind. So the backgrounds are more otherworldly. So we can see how certain items that we interact with in the first castle can be changed in this castle. This is where the backtracking is going to come in, because we're going to be jumping between castles quite frequently, because what we do in one castle does affect the other. And some of the hidden rooms and puzzles are bound by that notion. Again, which is why they give us the dash function. We are going to 200% this game. We're going to go for the best ending. So there's going to be 2 endings that we're going to see. We got Lore. Mr. Knight here. He's the Oh. Not good. We gotta wake him back up. Boom! Now, what that did was that broke the wall here, but that now also breaks the wall in Castle A. So we will be going back here. that spell. So this is a room that would have the merchant in it, and there's a symbol. It looks like one of the hint cards. Ooh. It's an interesting pinball game that we're going to play. What we have to do is we have to race the ball interestingly enough, as long as use just keeps sliding, we should be okay. So we did it in record time. We gotta go down here. We saw there was a notch in the wall. We're actually gonna go slide through it. And we have to remember that because in Castle A, there is no notch. And we'll have to slide through it. Got the raccoon figure. Yo. Oh. Not cool. That door is locked, so I gotta go back. I didn't think it would reset itself. I mean, it's okay. We're only taking 1 damage. Boy. The ball still hurts you. Alright. We gotta make our way back to the top. And this is kind of a way to check your progress, because the blue map is Castle A, green is Castle B, and the teal is the areas that we explored in both. So we can also see, like, oh, what we have unlocked in Castle A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do just that. I'm going to warp back to Castle A, get this area, go back to Castle B, and then backtrack our way through the Sky Sanctuary. So we just opened that way by breaking the wall. So we're gonna save. Past the slime room. Well, that's the save room, so we're gonna go this way. I think we gotta go down. Now that we broke the wall, we can go access the next room. As you can see, the wall is no longer there. And we still... So I think we need to have the one hint card to trigger the merchant to be in the room. I think that's what happens. We have to have specific items to trigger the merchant. And the merchant in different locations does sell different things. We have to remember we're in Castle A and we're just trying to figure out this area. The same thing, the ball's gonna move. Now we're gonna have to be fast because this ball's faster, so I'm just gonna keep spamming slide. Doesn't help that these things just constantly get in the way. Stop it. Ouch. Drop the gold necklace. This is where... Oh. Am I wrong? No. Not wrong. That's a... Oh, it was up there. Oh, we're gonna have to do this area again. Yeah. We just found that steel ball made it all the way to the end. It's guarding the Thunder Book. There we go. It's the other secret. Down here is Dracula's tooth. The fang. This is an item that many people can miss. Again, you have to remember in Castle B that gate was opened. We're going to try to do this and jump over the bone pillars. Because we do want to get the Thunder Book. So, well, let's save it. Again, we don't want to take a death. 3, 2, 1. Spam the slide button. Woo! Close run. We did it. Got some rewards. And we obtained the Bolt Book. I forget. It's up in R is the hotkey to change. There's a little Gradius Easter egg. Alright, so now we gotta go back to Castle B. And to progress the game, what we need to do is actually... Well, hold up. No, we have to be in Castle B because I think that's where we get the crushing tip. Yes, because we can't go that way unless we're in Castle A. So then we go through Castle B, we make our way back to the top, and then we'll be in Castle B all the way to the end. And then at that point, it's just pretty much figure out the backtrack all the areas that you didn't go, which is usually you do Skeleton Cavern last. Nope, we went the wrong way. Oh, what did that harpy drop? That dropped something, and I don't think I picked it up. Back to Castle B. And just like that. Now, I was doing the damage stack technique that many speedrunners do exploit. By stacking damage and then hitting them, you can do massive damage. And just like that, we are leveling up. It seems I have to backtrack. I didn't go to the bottom of this one corridor. I want to make sure I do that. It's not fun when you are at 99.9%. Because you didn't explore the entire bottom here. Bottom, that's nothing. Now what's interesting is certain parts of the castle do get easier. And that's because we're in parts of the castle where we're supposed to be story-wise. Again, this is pretty much, we're just going to be speed running through back and forth here as we make up for lost time. Whoop. I believe that's the crushing stone. Ouch. Can't believe I missed that. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is very reminiscent of Richter's Grand Cross technique. Fleet men still do ridiculous amounts of damage. Medicine jar is a classic Castlevania 1 item. It's what makes Simon invisible for short amounts of time. There we go. The machine moved above, so let's go get it before we make our way through the underground waterway. You gotta be careful. Enemies are going to start doing more and more damage, and I don't have that much healing. Just making sure. what I have to do crunch, crunch, and chop, 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 chop. The crushing stone is going to allow us to break those walls that prevent us from doing anything. And we're going to see, because there is a save room. I'm going to keep. Ouch. Do I want to cut through the underground waterway? Probably. Really wouldn't hurt. Although I might encounter a boss. Back through the Sky Sanctuary. Oh, crikey. There's a boss right there. I wonder if it's the Shadow Panther. Oh, that's probably what it is. It's the Shadow. Okay, well. Through the underground aqueduct we go. Hang in there. And we did it. Oh. I panicked. Because I'm going to need to eat a potion. I'm going to drink a high potion. Gives me a little bit more than half my health. I can't remember if the Shadow Boss curses you if you touch it. Bronze armor? Is that any good? Nope. Through the underground aqueduct. Poison skeletons. Don't know how those two spawned in, but I thought I got rid of them. But there is a save room. We like save rooms. They make us feel better about ourselves. Ew, the melty zombie. I always thought that was a cool design. You don't really see something like that in Castlevania. Just comes out of the drains here. Makes you wonder what Dracula flushes down in his castle. Alright, take the life max. Because there's nothing there, so... Speed dash. Back. Alright. Ew, bone liquids poison you. Antivenom. That was my last one. Again, the goddess points the way, but there's no goddess statue here. This is where we need to use the crushing stone. So we got a Mega Man style charge up. Now, it does a really good amount of damage, but it's just slow to charge. Now, we're in Castle B, so we just linked up this room, but we don't have the griffin tail, I think. Or the gravity boots, the super jump boots. It's one of those items, I forget. So we really can't go this way. And we do that area last because of that's where we fight death. In Castlevania Circle of the Moon, it was the Rock Wing. In Symphony of the Night, it was the anti-gravity boots. So I think it's called the Griffin. The Griffin's Wing in this one. Oh no, I think it was the Griffin's Wing in Aria of Sorrow. I think this one's literally called Anti-Grav Boots. Now we're back at Sky Sanctuary. Oh, there we go. Skeleton Mirror. It's an interesting throwback to enemies. The Doppelganger. That's in Aria of Sorrow. And the Doppelganger from Curse of Darkness. Or Chronicles. It's a cool attack. Now, if we had the Wind Book, we can do Divine Storm or Hydro Storm. Now, over here, we can use the Crushing Tip. on this wall here. This is gonna reveal a secret. And we found Dracula's heart. Back to the green stone. Now we're gonna have to come back here on the A side to see that to discover what's back there. For some reason I couldn't talk for a second. Oh, he's gonna rush me. Another area where we need to use the crushing stone. And we're gonna have to come back here again on the A side as well. Now there's a boss, and I believe that is the actual shadow. I think the shadow boss is a pretty easy boss. It's been a while. Let me just cover my ground here. We have the blizzard robe. Notice how the background painting has much more gore. Really struggling there. Yeah. Alright, we're struggling with this guy. We're just gonna not mess around. Go to the save. Now we can run back to the clock tower and enter Castle A. Which I'm thinking that's what we need to do. Ooh, ancient armor. I am getting lucky with all this armor. Ooch. Ooh. We're gonna have to try to get to that save room. This could be a deathless run. I don't know. I haven't died once. Knock on wood. But we're gonna probably be ending our part one here. I'm getting Quite tired. Still got some laundry to do. We'll see what's in these two boss rooms. Alright, who are we going? Oh, the Legion, that's right. We need to get this Legion. And we could try and do something really cool here. We're going to equip the Crushing Stone and we're just going to crit him. Crushing Stone does 120. There we go. He's a simple boss. Not that hard. Alrighty. Another excellent. Yes. Going back and jumping back to Castle A. Then running there to get those two secrets. Then causing us to jump back into Castle B again. As we explore. I'm trying to remember. You know what? If we get to the top, actually we can go back to Castle A. There's no need to go back here because we'll double back. Yes. Yeah, we have to climb the chapel. Because there's going to be a warp gate. That's going to take us back to Castle A. This is pretty cool. The thunder effects are pretty nice here. am I getting hit by? It's like, leave me alone. Statue, get the money. Unless there's a locked door up here that I can't enter. Ah, oh, you're right. I was right. There was a locked door. We have to go back to Castle A the long way. If I can lure that thing down here. He's not coming down here. Oh, that's right. Hold on. We have to go fight the shadow boss. I forgot. We have to fight the shadow boss. Fight the shadow boss. That could probably... Somehow, I think that's how we get the key. Because there's 2 bosses in Sky Sanctuary. Oh, wait, is this a Maxim? Yeah, this is where we fight the shadow. I see you're still alive. Maxim. Wait, you're not Maxim. You're onto me. What the hell are you? I am myself, just not the me that you knew in the past. This man's suppressed desires, coupled with his possession of Dracula's remains, gave rise to a separate spirit, and that other spirit is me. I'm fixing my sock. My sock fell off my foot. I'm not sure if it's even aware of my existence. And it was also you who kidnapped Liddy. Of course it was my doing. She belongs to me. But he went and lost his memory and doesn't even know where she is. But he will retrieve his memory soon, and when he does, she'll be all mine. Damn you. Sure about that? If I die, your best friend will perish with me. Roar. Your death is at hand. Die, you vile dog. He should turn into a sword. There we go. And he's done. Easy peasy. We made it to the second phase. Yeah, there's nothing in this room. So we can't go up because we don't have the key. So we have to go back to Castle A. So we gotta warp back to Castle A. So that means we gotta run to the clock tower. We're not even gonna save, we're just gonna keep going. Because we can't go down. Oh, I have to go down one floor. There we go. Whoa, too far. Oh, what am I doing? I can't read the map. Oh, we picked up hint card 6 just for S&Gs. Let's see what it is. The red book and the dagger share a secret. Yes, that's because the red book and the dagger, I believe, create the 1,000 blades. But we don't have the flame tome, so we can't do anything. Heal. Didn't even stand a chance. Yeah, we're not going to waste our time. We're just going to dash, 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 dash. Get hung up on this guy. There we go. Back at Castle. Or we were in Castle A. That's right. There we go. We're at the halfway point of the game anyhow, when it comes to exploration. Now we broke this wall. More medicine jars. And then we gotta go explore the wall we broke over here. Zoom, 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 zoom. Juste! Maxim, it's really you this time, right? So I see you run into my other self. Yeah. I see I was nearly taken over by him. Dracula's strength was so overwhelming. Don't say that. You must stay strong. Listen to me. When he brought Liddy to this place, he hid her in the castle, forged from the fabric of my mind. I'm losing my memory. I protected her, but I think I reached my limit. She's in the Lord's room. With this bracelet, you can gain entrance as well. I can't just leave you lying here like this. You must. We can't get a hold of him. We can't let him get a hold of Liddy. I got it. Once I've saved Liddy, I promised I'll come back for you. Go now, it's up to you. So you take Maxim's bracelet. Now this is going to be a key item, because to get the good ending, you need to equip Juste and Maxim's bracelet. So now, we are in Castle A, and I am going to get poisoned, but oh well. We're going to have to fight our way to the top of the castle. Again, this is why those dash powers come in handy. Because we have lots of ground to cover. Now there is a really cool thing we can do. We can double kick off of one of the winged skeleton knights in this area to get an item. Just want to make sure I cover the map. Let's go this way. Go up here. Get the heart. So you can jump on the boneheads to get the emerald cloak. Ouch. Ouch. What we want to do is we want to get one that's kind of medium level. That one. We really want to hit this one. We're going to get him up here. Ah, I missed. Hold on. Nope. I can do this. I've done it before. Really? Ah. Come on, we want that eyeball. There we go. That's why this technique comes in handy. So if we look at the relics, we're only missing 2. One more. We got the Vlad's ring, fang, nail, heart, eye. This is the rib. And then one more. So we almost have all the relics already. Now we have to be equipped Maxim's bracelet. And we're at the top floor of the castle. So we're going to take off and put back on the Guardian Helm. And we also need the Crushing Stone. Charge up because this is a false wall we gotta break. Hoo-yah! Now we are going to encounter a boss, and it's going to be either easy or hard. Yes, I will take the Grand Cross for this one. So right there, we need the special gravity boots to smash through that ceiling block. And we are in Castle A, so just we gotta remember that. And we know we can warp. So what I'm going to do is warp back to Castle B. We're back here. Now, there was a secret. You know, there was an enemy that we can't quite get to. But what we wanted to do is we want to try to lure this monster. Let's see if I can get him to come down here. He may not want to. Or maybe that one might. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to try to get in place here, and we're going to hop on him. Ouch. I would like to get up there. Alright. We'll just go back when we have the grab boots. We'll remember this. Now we are in Castle B. And what we noticed is if we jump through here, there's no boss. And that's because we kind of just skipped something intrinsic. I'm starting not to make sense. I'm getting sleepy. Alright, so we're going to go to Castle A because we're going to see a cutscene. So Pazuzu jumps through here. He's pretty mean. But we're just going to keep spamming Grand Cross. Oh, we're going to spam one more and then take a potion just in case. There we go. We got him. Got another excellent. Liddy. Juste, it's really you. Juste, are you all right? Are you injured? I'm fine. Maxim had me tucked safely away here. Oh, I see. Didn't he come with you? Maxim's waiting for us outside, I think. Hey, what happened to the person that brought me to this place? You mean that you don't know who it was that kidnapped you? Until Maxim came to my rescue, I was blindfolded. I see, okay. Let's try to get out of this place. Yes, let's go. Oh no. So this is where you've been hiding. He too is a bold man. No! Liddy! I shall have this maiden for myself. Damn, I must hurry after them. Alright, so, plot thickens, Liddy gets kidnapped, and we had to open that gate. Oh, we do want to keep across. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly make our way back counterclockwise throughout the castle. We are in Castle A. But this is going to conclude part 1. Part 2 we shall maybe pick up tomorrow. Let's see. We've been playing this game for about 2 hours and 24 minutes, so let's see. Let's have a good night. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Now, I might be on tomorrow.